Hi there, hello everyone. Good evening, good morning. Welcome to another Opcode live streaming. So tonight we're gonna have something special for you guys. We're gonna have a Donkey Kong Showdown, which I'm gonna be playing here as some different versions of Donkey Kong for different consoles, and we're gonna be comparing those and just playing, have fun, seeing which is different, which missing from some of those, which in some case maybe what's new. And the other thing tonight is we're gonna have a Opcode T-shirt giveaway. So if you want to participate, I'm gonna explain the rules in a minute, okay? It's actually very easy. So, well, if you never heard about, if this is your first time here, never heard about Opcode, we are a publisher for Atari era classic consoles like the ColecoVision, Atari 7800, Television, and hopefully soon other platforms. But that's what we do. And also, in case you never heard about us, excuse me, we have this kind of old school, club. If you're if you're playing video games back in the day, you might remember Atari Age and some, Coleco also had a similar thing where you could subscribe to a club and it could send you magazines like this one, right? And or membership cards and stuff like that. So we also have something like this for Opcode, where we have a printed magazine. We share news, we have interviews, we try to do interesting stuff. You get your membership card, right? So that's what we do. And tonight, in our Donkey Kong Showdown, I'm going to play 4 different versions of Donkey Kong, right? We're gonna have the classic original Donkey Kong for the ColecoVision, made by Coleco back in the day. And then, because I'm very big fan of Japanese gaming, I'm also gonna play Donkey Kong for the Famicom. This is the Japanese version. I believe the NES version is exactly the same. I could be wrong, but this is how the game was sold in Japan. And I'm gonna talk about a little bit more about this version in a minute. And then I'm gonna also play this because I find this very fun. This is Donkey Kong for the Game Boy, and it's actually an expanded version of Donkey Kong. So I think it's, in case you never saw this, you might like this version. I'm gonna play this a little bit, and finally I'm gonna play my own version. It's called DK Arcade, right? And you guys gonna see how that compares to all those versions. So why don't you have other versions here, like the Atari VCS or in television? Because I thought it's not. I mean, those versions, of course, they're fun back in the day, but they didn't age that well, let's say. So I'm not gonna play those here tonight, but maybe at another time. All right. As for the T-shirt giveaway, yeah, true. I mean, I'm seeing a comment here from Happy. It's not our. Only thing wrong is, yeah, I agree. You're gonna play that, and you see that it gets really close to the arcade versions. It's pretty good for its time. Okay, about the T-shirt giveaway. Okay, this is how it's gonna work. For those watching the live, at some moment during the live, I'm gonna give you guys a code, some letters, okay? And the only thing you have to do is you have to type that code back in the comments. When you do that, Grazi is gonna get your name and gonna put you in our drawing for the end of the live. Okay, so we're gonna be, you know, running the drawing to see who is getting the t-shirt at the end of this live event. So by the way, that's another rule. You must be here at the end to get, you know, the t-shirt, in case you know your name is the selected one. And the other thing is, of course, it's a giveaway. We're gonna give this for free, but shipping is, the rule is, if you're in the US, if you live here in the US, no, you're gonna get your t-shirt in the mail in a couple weeks. But if you live outside the US, then you have two options. Okay, as probably know, shipping now is very expensive, so you're gonna have two options. If you have any pre-orders with us, we can add your t-shirt to your order when it's eventually available. All right, and the other option is, if you really want if you live outside the US and really want your t-shirt now, you can pay the extra for shipping. Okay, so those are the rules. Again, I'll give the code at some point during the live. All right, so let's get started. So let me just check comments. Steve, same disappointment for the ColecoVision version. Yes, you see that yes, the ColecoVision version is also missing exactly the same screen. Oh, thank you. Blood knows. It's great to see you on a live. Thanks so much. Yeah, great to see you guys too. Again, thank you so much for joining me. Hope you guys gonna have fun tonight. So I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna resize my video here, and I'm gonna start. So I don't know. I'm gonna suggest two options. Okay, we can start with the Famicom version, or we could start with the ColecoVision version. You guys have any preference? Please let me know. If you don't have any preference, I can start, I don't know, with the ColecoVision version. No preference? I don't see any comments. Okay. Famicom. All right. So let's start with the Famicom. We got a 1 vote for older first. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I think. Okay, two votes for Famicom. So let's go with Famicom. Okay. So, well, again, for this live, I'm gonna be using a real. It's all real hardware here, no emulation. I'm using a AV Famicom. I don't think I'm gonna be able to show you guys. The cables are a little tight here. Sorry. Let me just untie this. Just a second. Okay, so yeah, there you go. So I have a AV Famicom. It was modded. It has RGB output, this thing. So I'm gonna use real hardware with real cartridge. Okay. So the Famicom version of Donkey Kong was a launch title for Famicom in Japan, and it came out in July 1983. So kind of, you know, the middle of the video game crash in the US. And it was one of the 3 launch titles. The other 2 were Donkey Kong Jr. and Popeye. And I think, you know, for its time, this version is just amazing. The game size, the cartridge size is 24K. So let's play it. So let me just hook up some cables here. go. Let's see. Let's move this cable over there. There we go. And hopefully we're all set. There you go. Awesome. So let me turn it down my volume here. Can you guys hear the sound from the game? Well, it's not playing anymore, but okay, I'm gonna start the game. If you cannot hear for some reason, please let me know, and I will adjust. If it's too loud, I can adjust down a little bit. Okay.
Aumenta pouquinho o Famicom.
Oh, Famicom. Okay. So let's. Yeah, Graz is saying that the Famicom is, the volume is too low. Let's see. Let me start the game first. So, actually, let me go back to this screen. So this game, you see, you have four options. Two options for one player, two options for two players. The manual is not very, don't provide too much information regarding the difference between those two options, game A and game B. It just says that game A is for beginners and game B is for advanced players. My feeling from playing this is that probably game B is probably starting from level 2. This is my impression. Okay, let's get started. So as you can see, there is no, the intro animation is not, they don't have that here. They don't have that fancy how high can you get, screen. The other thing is, now I'm stuck here. You use B, the B button to jump. Oh, come on, go away. Okay, let's start now. It's a bad start, sorry. Let's try again. Another difference you can see here is that the first hammer there is in the wrong position. Should be right here where I'm jumping, right? Another interesting fact about this is because this is Japanese version. Do you see that? If I stay on top of a ladder, the barrel is not going to come down and hit me. That's the thing with excuse me. That's the thing with the Japanese version. In the US version, don't have that. They remove that, so barrels can come down and kill you. All right. The other thing is, because again, this is a Japanese version, it follows the Japanese arcade in terms of the order of screens. So as someone mentioned, it's missing the conveyor belt screens, the second screen, and it goes to the third screen in the Japanese version. That's the elevators. So here you can notice something. I'm gonna pause for a minute. First, it's the hat is missing. You see, you have the umbrella, you have the purse, but we don't have the hat. The hat was supposed to be, at the middle of the screen. We don't have that here. And I suspect the reason for that, if you check the game, graphics, is that they didn't have space for anything else. So let's keep going. Oh yeah, exactly. The end of stage animations, we don't have that, like Donkey Kong taking Pauline to the next stage. By the way, the Japanese manual still calls Pauline Lady. She's not Pauline yet. Now, my feeling is, the feeling of playing the game is really close to the arcade, but it's clearly easier. So I don't know, graphics, the gameplay, you know, all those things, controls, you're really close. But you can say that the game is just easier, right? Here, for example, even, you know, in the arcade version level 1, it's much harder. You get a lot more fires on screen than what we're gonna see here. Oh, and by the way, I don't know if you noticed, but we had 2 umbrellas and again no hat. Let's keep going. But many of the, you know, the strategies and things that you can use in the arcade version, they kind of work here. They reproduce the behavior of this the enemies pretty close. Now Hammer, I noticed that hit detection seems to be a little off compared to the arcade version. It takes a little longer to detect hit when you're hitting an enemy with the hammer. And the other interesting thing is when you jump to get a hammer, the game waits until you're back on the ground to actually show you holding the hammer, which is funny. So now I'm in level 2, and the first thing I notice is the arcade, Donkey Kong is gonna throw a diagonal barrel almost right here where I am right now, and that's missing from this version. But that said, you can feel that, you know, difficulty here has increased. This game puts up quite a lot of barrels on screens at the same time. But other thing is, you saw the first barrel in the arcade, that's usually blue, and only blue barrels gonna become a fire when they reach the oil thing there. Not all of them. So we don't have blue. We don't have blue barrels here. But yeah, even if we can see that the difficulty has increased a little bit, that's for sure not exactly arcade level difficulty. Arcade is harder, that's for sure. The speed of the elevators here, I don't think they increased that. In the arcade game, each level, those elevators they get faster and faster. So you're not able to perform this shortcut that I just took here, right? Because when you get to level 2, it's too fast for that, if I remember. Or I could be wrong, but for sure not level 3. But here I play it for a while, and the speed doesn't seem to change at all. Oh, so there, see? You have 2 umbrellas, but no hat. Right. But anyways, even with that, overall, the graphics here, the control, the gameplay, really close. I mean, I can only imagine how happy I would have been back in 1983 if I had this version to play, and it's just fantastic. Okay, yeah, I think the game is only able to put 4 fire enemies in this stage, but the arcade you see more than that. I don't remember exactly how many, but I'm pretty sure 6, maybe even more later. All right, so let's see if I have any questions so far or comments. I'm gonna pause for a minute, okay? Um, yeah, this is very authentic. I think Coleco could have spent. I agree. I'm gonna make some comments regarding the ColecoVision version once I start playing that one. Also, most of the level transition animations are missing. Yes. Here's one interesting fact, okay? If you play, for example, the Donkey Kong Jr. version of the Famicom, which was also a launch title for the Famicom in Japan, that game has all 4 screens. So why does this game only offer 3 screens? So my guess is, I took the time actually to check because Famicom games, they have a separate ROM chip inside the cartridge just for the graphics. It's separate. And if you use an emulator, you can actually, see what is in that ROM. And that ROM for this game is fully packed. So they're using basically all the space that they had. And probably one reason is because with the arcade version, Donkey Kong and a lot of other things, they all made using sprites. But the Famicom has limitations, just like the Coleco and others. So Donkey Kong here is made using tiles, background tiles. And because of that, and because Donkey Kong is so big and he has so many different animation frames, they probably use all the space that they had for tiles with the Donkey Kong and those 3 screens, and they didn't have space for tiles for the 4th screen. Okay, so that's my impression. Now Donkey Kong Jr., it has also Donkey Kong there, but the animation is much simpler. I think it's just like two frames, and so they didn't need to use as many tiles for that. And because of that, they had more tiles available, and they were able to actually implement all 4 screens. But anyways, this was probably back in the day, 1983, was probably by far the best way to play Donkey Kong at home, in my opinion. That's true, me too. I was still playing Atari back in 1983 with the 2-screen version. So should I use this?
Maybe because it's echoing.
Okay, so Graz is telling me that I should use headphones, so let's try that. Sorry. Can you guys hear me? What? It's not connected? Sorry about that. Let's see. Oh, yeah, I can hear me. So yeah, so we have audio. All right. Oh yes, awesome. So hope that improves the audio a little bit. Okay. The only problem now is that I'm hearing my voice back. So let's see. Let's see if I mute myself. I think that should fix. Hope you guys too can hear me. All right. Okay. Yeah, she is, right? And she's taking care of the T-shirt thing. So thank you, Grazi. All right. No, not working.
Is it good?
I think so.
You're not hearing yourself?
No, I muted.
Okay.
Yeah, perhaps that was the problem. Sorry about that. Okay, let's get back on track. So that I don't know. I think I'm gonna stop here because trust me, this game it doesn't get much harder than this. This is this is pretty much how far it goes. And as I said, I try game B, and to me it's since the game just start at level 2, So just that. Okay. They're saying, we hear you. Thanks so much. All right. So we're going to stop here for the Famicom version. Very fun. Again, I would be delighted to play this thing back in 1983. As I said, I was still playing the Atari version with only 2 screens. This is amazing. Okay. So next, so let's do the. How about we do the ColecoVision version now? So for the ColecoVision version, what we're gonna do is we're gonna use real ColecoVision, just like last week, and I'm gonna use the Super Game Module 2 because that offers me HDMI output, so it's for me it's easy to capture that. Okay. Let's see the cartridge. Where is the cartridge? Where did I put the cartridge? I was showing the cartridge. Oh, it's here. All right. So here's the Coleco version of Donkey Kong for the ColecoVision. Of course, this version was released 1 year before the Famicom version, 1982. And I suppose that, again, it was the same case. When this came out, it was not probably, I'm pretty sure it was the very best way to play Donkey Kong at home. Coleco also had versions for the Atari and television, but this is much superior. Just like the Famicom version was missing one screen, exactly the same screen. But in this case, I guess, I think it made even more sense because this version is based on the US version of the arcade game where the stage order is different. You see, in the US, you play first screen 1, then screen 4, and then I think it's 1, 3, and 4. It's very kind of all over the place. So yeah. And because of that, screen 2, which is the conveyor belt thing, actually in the US version of the arcade, that's the last screen that you're gonna see, and I believe you're gonna see that only level 3 and up or something like that. So it takes a while for you to see that. So I suppose that for Coleco, they knew that maybe a lot of players probably never saw that in the arcade. I don't know. I'm guessing, but it made sense to, if you one screen had to go, it made sense that they decided to go with that one. All right, so let's see if it's working. There you go. It's working. So again, this is real ColecoVision. I'm using my Super Game Module 2 because it has HDMI output. It's easier to capture, offers good image quality. And I'm gonna play that now. Where is the controller? Is here. So I'm gonna tell you something. I'm gonna make a confession here tonight. I hate the original ColecoVision controller. So I'm gonna be using this thanks to Rugged Custom for this pad. Okay. So it's of course Sega Genesis Mega Drive pad, but he remapped some of the keypads. He remapped to some of the buttons. So it's you don't have all the keys, but for most games you can play just fine. All right, so Grazi, the director of this show, told me that I am supposed to give you guys the code now. So again, if you just join us, we have tonight, we have Opcode T-shirt giveaway, just like this one. Okay, and to participate is very easy. I'm gonna give you guys a code now, a few letters, and the only thing you have to do is have to type in the comments, type that code, and Graz is gonna enter your name in the drawing at the end of this live. Okay, So the code is, let's go. O as opera, P as pig, D as dog, K as ketchup, and A as apple. Okay, so O P G K A. Just type in, and you're in. You're gonna be part of drawing. All right. That's it. Let's go back to the game. All right. So, we are presented here with this 4 skill levels. I checked the manual. I had the manual here. Oh my God. And the only information that I could find here about those different skill levels is that skill level 1, you get 5 lives, and skill 2, 3, and 4, you get 3 lives, nothing else. So I don't know. I think I'm gonna try level 2 because maybe level 1 is too easy. All right. So let's go. Level 2 is button X. All right. So same thing. You don't have any intro animations. We don't have. Oops. We don't have that how high can you get screen. But at least the first hammer is in the correct place. But I cannot stay in those letters for too long, because barrels will come down, because this is based on the US version. So I cannot just stay on top of letters. Now, one thing you may notice is that the hammer action is, it does not feel like the arcade at all. Basically, when you get a hammer, you're invincible. That's not the case with the arcade version. Arcade version, you have to actually hit barrels to destroy them. The other thing is, as you can see, in my opinion, action here is a little bare. Like you see 3 or 4 barrels on the screen, and pretty much that. We also saw that that first screen is missing 1 platform, and it's the same here. I think it's missing one platform here. So it should be easier, right? Because you have fewer stuff to remove. We have 4 enemies. That's just like the Famicom version. We have the 2 hammers, proper place. And let's see. This game, I cannot pause this game. It has no pause function like many early Coleco games, but eventually they start offering pause. So now we're here at the elevator screen. It looks okay, I guess. The bonus items, they're all correct. We have the hat missing from the Famicom version, and everything seems to be in the correct place. However, as you can notice, we don't have the spring enemies. Instead of that, we got some extra fires. And the elevators seem to move much, and we can fall from very low height, so it's a little weird. Oops. There is a funny thing about this version of Donkey Kong. When you climb ladders like here, it's very slow speed, as you can see. But if you push the controller twice in the same direction, up or down, you're gonna climb at twice the speed, which is kind of weird. Like here is low, but if I press twice, like it's faster. So yeah, it's strange. Okay, so let's try to. Oh no, go away. There you go. I did it. Okay, so as I said, this is a little controls are a little stiff as well. Oh my god, I'm running out of time. Okay, let's go. Hey, there you go. So we just saw all three screens. Yeah, here we have all three items, bonus items. We have so far. Oh man, controls are definitely stiffer in this version. But yeah, we have. Oh man, not doing so well, and it's game over. I remember as a kid back in the day, one thing I think I back in the day I thought this version was great, but one thing that I remember that I was a little disappointed was there's no game over. You don't get a game over. It just stop, just like an Atari game. So I remember being a little disappointed about that. Let's see. Questions? Blue Nose, was there an internal ROM font they use for the score? Yes. Yes. The ColecoVision has a BIOS and it has a standard font that, in my opinion, looks really bad because it's thin. It's not a fat font like arcade games. So yeah, they use that in this game. The game was yeah, I agree. It was amazing. I mean, was the best you could have. And the thing is, it was a very different world, right? Back in the 80s. It was not a global world like we have now, or should I say, we had until not too long ago. So, if you're in the US, this is the best you had for several years. And we're not. Most people, I guess, were not aware about the Famicom until a couple years later when it came to the US, right? So I agree, it was great. Yeah, pausing was not common. Yes, yeah, but eventually we start getting games with pause from Coleco. Okay, there's only 2 steps in the elevator in the Famicom. I think there's 3. Yeah, probably. Yeah, they remove, in general, most screens, they remove uh, some platforms. I think here is missing one, for example, this screen. Arcade, you can jump offside and bounce back. I haven't tried that yet, Kiers. I tried that with the Famicom. It works. Bounce back to get the hammer in this screen, but I don't think I tried here. It should work because it's kind of out of the platform. So I don't know. RC Safari controller and the limitations from the height you could fall was all part of. Yeah, I guess so. I mean, you have to figure out stuff, right? That's part of fun. Sounds like Arcade had a dedicated sound chip for. That's I love those questions, technical questions. So, Arcade, the arcade sound is very funny because what it has is a microcontroller dedicated for sound, but not in the sense that most arcades had. Most arcades in the 80s, they had a dedicated CPU for sound, but that CPU was controlling sound chips, actual sound chips. With Donkey Kong, you don't have an actual sound chip. You have a microcontroller producing sound. How? By writing stuff on digital to analog converter very fast, like putting out stuff there. And the songs kind of, samples that you hear, like, Donkey Kong sound like that thing, it's done that way by outputting, data, um, through the sound converter. So it's not an actual sound chip or anything. That's how it was done. And this is the other thing. I don't know if you guys know that, but in the arcade game, there are two voices that are there. The voices are there. You can sort of play back those with emulators. I found out about that when I was porting the game a long time ago. But there is a help voice, says help, and there was a thank you. I think thank you also. I suppose they plan to use that with Pauline, but in the end, the voices are there. They never use it. Okay. Yeah. All right. So that was the ColecoVision version, and so let's move on. So now I'm gonna recable stuff here quickly, and the next version I'm gonna show is a sort of bonus thing. It's gonna be this, the Game Boy version. Sorry, the Game Boy version. Now, the Game Boy version, it's it's more a reimagination of the original arcade game, because it has the four screens from the arcade, but also had like another almost 100 other screens after that. So, you know, it's a very fun version. I don't I don't know if a lot of people actually play those or are into Game Boy, but I'm gonna show quickly here, okay? So for that, I'm gonna be using this. I have a Super Famicom here, and I have this. This is the Super Game Boy 2. All right, and what the Super Game Boy 2 does is it allows you to play Game Boy games using your Super Famicom or Super NES. And yes, the Super Game Boy was released in the US, but I don't think they released this version, the Super Game Boy 2. And they made some improvements with this one. This one is running at the proper speed, because it seems that the original Super Game Boy actually was running a little faster than it should. Um, and it has the cable port. If you have things like Pokemon or whatever, you want to play with someone or exchange data or whatever, just like the Game Boy, you have this thing here. So Donkey Kong was the first game it released with the Super Game Boy, and was the first game to actually support some of the Super Game Boy extra features. So you're gonna see here that it's not monochrome like the no the proper Game Boy. You get colors. You're gonna get a nice border around the the image of the Game Boy. You're gonna get some extra sounds, all using some of the features of the Super Famicom, Super NES. All right, so let's try this one. Okay, so what's missing? Oh, I have to move this cable over here. There we go. And is it working? Oh yeah, check this. This is great. So let's see. Where's my Super Famicom controller? There you go. So they kind of, you have this very nice screen that sort of looks like the arcade bezel, marquee, etc. All right, so let's get started. All right, so the game, because it has so many screens, you can save your progress. So let's go. So when the game starts, it looks a lot like the arcade version, right? You see Donkey Kong taking Pauline and jumps, breaks the platform, stuff like that. Um, you have this screen, right? But here, you have some you can do some stuff that you cannot do with the arcade version. So for example, when I get the hammer, I can destroy stuff. But if I press, oops, if I press B, I throw the hammer up. Oh no, I lost that. Sorry. The idea is I can throw the hammer to the upper platform and then grab the hammer again. So that's something that you cannot do with the arcade game. The other thing you can do here is this. You can do this super jump and go right to the platform, to the next platform. So it's I don't know if you could hear that the help sample. That's the Super Famicom doing that actually. All right. So this is the first time you were seeing tonight this screen, right? This is the second. Again, this game is following the Japanese version of Donkey Kong. So this is the second screen, the conveyor belt, and we are finally seeing that in this game for the first time. The other two versions didn't have this one. So I can. There you go. I think I did it. Yeah. So it plays more or less like the arcade. Yeah, you can do some extra stuff like those flip jumps and stuff, but yeah, it's sort of capture the essence of the arcade without being exactly a one-to-one thing. All right, so let's see. I'm gonna jump here. Oh, come on, get down. Go down, come on. Okay, so I'm gonna have to do something else different. Oh, okay. You cannot do that with the arcade version, but okay. There you go. Now we have spikes at the bottom. Okay. And finally, the final screen, as we have in the arcade version. Again, I think we're missing a couple platforms here or something. But the Game Boy resolution is much lower, so yeah, that makes sense. There you go. Come on, come down. Okay, let's get this one up. Oops. Now we have this nice animation when you get hit by fire. Let me try again. Let's see if I can do this quickly. I'm gonna try to avoid the hammer. There you go. And then we have the animation. There was also no, actually the Famicom had this one, right? Donkey Kong falls, but here something different happens. So the game is not over yet. This is when the real game here starts, okay? Because after those 4 screens, you're gonna have to go through like almost 100 new screens. And the game is gonna change a little bit where, most of the screens now are not about reaching the top to save Pauline. Now it's more about getting the key and taking to the door, opening to the next stage. So I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna play quickly a few more here just to give an idea how it works in case you never saw this game. But of course I'm not gonna play much. Okay, I'm gonna play
probably 4 more until you get to Donkey Kong again. All right, let's go. Oh, by the way, we have different, let's say, worlds now here. So the first one is big city, so it's city timid, but eventually gonna have jungle and stuff like that. If I remember, jungle, it's just like Donkey Kong Jr. with vines and all. You climb vines just like Donkey Kong Jr. So this is a blast. This game is awesome. I really recommend this one. Even if you're not too much into more modern stuff, this is a great fun. Okay, so here you're gonna have to start using some of your new skills, like that backflip jumping and stuff like that. Okay, never. It's okay. So here, for example, I can do this, and I can jump higher to get stuff. There you go. If I get all the 3 bonus items on the screen, just like I did, the hat, the umbrella, the purse, at the end of the stage, when I finish stage, I'm gonna get a little bonus game where I can get extra lives. Okay, so I grab the key and I just take that to the door. Well, first one is very, very easy, very basic, but keeps getting harder and harder. Oh, there you go. A mini game, slot machine, and I could get some extra lives here. Let's see if I can get at least one Mario. Oh, there you go. I got one, so I got one extra life. This game is very generous with extra lives. Okay, very, very. Okay, so I'm gonna try to finish those as quickly as I can. So now we have some scroll. Oh, by the way, this is something just like Mario 2, where you can actually, be on top of an enemy, and then you can do this and hold the enemy just like Mario 2, and then throw stuff like that. Okay, so here's another trick. When I get to those wires, I can press up, and I'm gonna start spinning. And when I press the jump button, I throw very high. Faster I'm spinning, higher gonna get. All right. So I get to the key. All right. So here I jump. Jump. I cannot climb with the key, so I have to throw the key up. And then I grab at the key again. Oops. And there you go. There you go. Another screen done. Very similar, yes. Yeah, they mix it a lot of different elements from different things. Even this flip jumping, to me, looks like Super Mario 64, or actually Mario 64, right? There you go. One Mario. So yeah, I got another extra life. Okay, third screen, and then I'm gonna do this and one more just to show you guys. It changed when I get to Donkey Kong. So let's grab this, kill some enemies here. There you go. Then you can throw this jump, this hammer, so I can jump. Let's climb here. Okay, now I'm gonna have to start spinning. I'm gonna get to that platform over there. There you go. Oops, I should have. Oh no, I should release. Okay, let's try again. Quickly. Come on. Okay. Get the hammer. Kill everybody. There you go. Throw the hammer. Jump. Get the hat. Let's try again. So I'm gonna jump here. Grab the wire. Start spinning. This time I'm gonna wait for that little spot. now I can fall and I'm not necessarily gonna die unless um, when I when I hit the ground and hit with my head. Ah, no, again. Oh, come on. There you go. Get the key. Climb the platform. There you go. All right. So now I got to the stage where Donkey Kong is holding Pauline. So now it's more like, more like Donkey Kong, where I actually need to save her. So let's do that quickly. So see there, we see Donkey Kong, Pauline there, but the thing is, when he jumps, a lot of stuff is gonna fall. And one way for me to protect myself is do this. If I jump and am I like this, then object's not gonna kill me. The other thing I can do is, if I jump exactly when Donkey Kong jumps, I'm not going to get stunned. Otherwise, no, get up. There you go. So when I'm like this, I'm safe. If something hits me, I'm okay. Okay. And I fell. Get out. It's hard. Okay, let's try again quickly. Let's go. See? That's the only way I can. No. I failed again. Come on. No. Well, anyways, but yeah, the screen, the goal is to get to Pauline, right? You have to just be able to cross the whole screen. So again, fun game. I recommend. If you haven't tried this, it's very fun, and you can save. Okay, finally, let's go to the final version of Donkey Kong tonight, and that's this one. It's our version of Donkey Kong, DK Arcade for the ColecoVision with the Super Game module. So this is for Super Game module 1. I'm gonna show the game here. In case you want this game, we have a link for the store in the description. There are some other games that we make. So let's play this one, and after that we can have the drawing for the T-shirt. Okay. Let's go. But before I do that, let me read some of the comments because it has been a while. Let's see. So RC Safari said the controller and limitations from the height you could fall was all part of. Oh no, that's for the Coleco version. I remember the help and thank you samples. Yeah, it sounds a lot like King and Balloon indeed. But I don't know why they didn't use. I have a Game Boy player. It connects to my GameCube. The Game Boy player actually, it's probably even better, right? Because then you can play also the Game Boy Color, Advance. So yeah, that is awesome. Looks really fun. Yeah, it looks. The first 4 levels act like a tutorial. Yeah, kind of. Indeed, it's like the easy stuff. It reminds me, yes, and actually, that's a good point, Grazi. This game, or the sequels for this game, eventually became Mario vs. Donkey Kong. So this is how the series started. I always want to hear from the early Coleco coders in Montreal who created the early games Donkey Kong, we know who did that. Zack Smith. We have an interview with him in the first issue of the Opcode Visions magazine. So if you want to read about that, you can, in case you're not a member, there he is. This guy here called the Donkey Kong. I think Zaxxon was done by a contractor or something. And all the RC Ruggers Customs, Ed better be playing with. Yeah, I was. Yeah, I was. See, actually, I'm gonna use this again right now. RC Safarialis want to DK construction set. That would be awesome, right? It would be awesome. Yeah, so you don't see Donkey Kong Arcade in your store from that link. That's true because this is the only game that's, well, not the only, it's one of the games that are exclusive to club members. And the reason for that is because, reasons. It's because we need to keep this surf under wrap. So you can only get this if you're a member of the Opcode Club. You can become a member, for 20 something bucks, in case you want, and then you're gonna have access to this and some other exclusive games as well. All right, So let's get started here. So let's see, did they connect? Okay, so we should be good to go. I know it's past 8. I was supposed to finish this in 1 hour, so I just play one loop here, and we're done. You can do the T-shirt thing. All right, so quickly, okay, just to explain. This is for the ColecoVision with the Super Game Module 1. It's the Super Game Module we have today, right? The only thing the Super Game Module does here is it has extra RAM memory. But this is it. Super Game Module 1 does not change, processing power, graphic capabilities, nothing of that. All right, so you get to this menu, and here, the first option, you can select between the Japanese and the US version. So I talk a lot about that during the live today, and basically it has to do with the screen order, right? The Japanese is always, the 4 screens, and repeat. The US version is like the first and last, the first and third, and they change the order every time. And in fact, eventually you get to 5 or 6 screens per level because they repeat the same screen a couple times, right? The other difference, as I demonstrate during the Famicom version, is that the first screen, if you stay at the top of a ladder, no bear is gonna come down, so that makes the game easier. In general, the Japanese version is easier. If you never played Donkey Kong, or you just play, for fun without too much stress, I always recommend playing the Japanese version. So you can select both here, okay? Options, if you go to the options screen, I have my screen on top of some. Anyways, you can see the option names. You can select the number of lives. You can have 3, 4, or 5, actually up to 6. So you can use 6 if you want a easier game. You can select how many points you need for a bonus life. In case you're playing a 2 players game, the original arcade is always going to be Mario, right? Player 1, player 2. Here you can select either Mario or the other guy that's green, or red Jumpman and green Jumpman. And sprite mode has to do with some flickering. So the ColecoVision has some limitations in terms of how many sprites you can display in the same scan line. The more sprites you have, more flicker you get. And the ColecoVision sprites, they're single color, which means that if you want something to have more than one color, you have to use more sprites. And basically, so what we do is you can get nicer graphics with more colors that are more colorful and closer to the arcade, but you're gonna get a little more flickering. If you select less flicker, then you get less colors, but but you get less flicker as well. Okay, so I'm gonna use more colors because I'm using the Super Game Boy Julia, and I don't get flickering anyways. All right, so let's play. Oh, in high scores, this cartridge it's called the Super Game cartridge. It's our uh, custom cartridge. It can save stuff, so it can save the high scores or the high score table for each version of the game, Japanese and US. And if you go here, you don't have anything. It's blank. But anyways, you can. Oh no, actually, yeah, it has. But those are the default scores. Yeah, I probably cleaned this cartridge a while ago. Anyways, you know, normally when you score, get a high score, you're gonna go to the high score screen. You're gonna enter your initials, and this cartridge is gonna save that forever until you decide to clean that if you want. Like, all right. Okay, so let's go. Let's see how many lives. Let's put 5. Just make sure. And let's go. So this version, it has everything. It has the attraction mode. It has everything. Okay. So it has even coins. So you insert coins or insert credits in your controller. That's the hash key. You're going to insert credits. You see credits there, credit 1, right? If you keep pressing credit, 2 credits, 3 credits, whatever. It's just like inserting coins. And then now you push 1 or 2 players. So that's the keypad button 1 or 2. So I'm going to play solo. So we have the intro animation. Just like the arcade. We have the screen, right? Just like the arcade. And of course, the screen is a little, compressed vertically, but it has all the platforms and everything. And since this is the Japanese version, I can stay here safely. You get the same number of barrels that you get in the arcade version here, so a lot of them. You see there we have the blue barrel. That one is going to become a fireball when it reaches the bottom of the screen. The oil tank. There you go. And we have the end of stage animation as well. Screen 2, which was missing from the Coleco version and also the Famicom version. Conveyor belt. Let's go. I don't think it's safe to go there. Let's see. Oh, come on, go away. There you go. Ah! Oops. Let's try again. That was a good thing that I got 5 lives. Alright, so let's go. Oh, no, come on, go away. Let's try this way now. Forget about this. Let's just finish this stage. There you go. So the only thing missing here is that, the arcade game, if you remember, Donkey Kong is only one of those conveyor belts and it keeps moving side by side. But here we're using a lot of ties and stuff. It was not possible to do that kind of animation without sacrificing some other stuff. So that's why he's not moving. Oh no. That was a stupid mistake. All right, let's try again. This is level 1, so we can do this trick here. We can just use this shortcut because elevators they moving very slowly, and it's not hard to finish this. And finally, final screen, you're gonna see that you get more fires here than any of the other versions. In fact, we get as many fires as the arcade version. We have 3 already. We're gonna have more. Now we have 5. I think level 1's 5 is the maximum. But in later levels you're gonna get more than that. Okay. This is gonna be hard. There is a trick you can do right there next to Donkey Kong. If you keep jumping, there's a spot there, and if you keep jump, you're gonna score points. There you go. We have the final animation, and then the game loops, but it gets a lot harder. I'm gonna show just the first screen, level 2. You're gonna see that it gets harder. So first of all, now you're gonna have that diagonal barrel just like the arcade that was missing from all the other versions. And you're gonna start seeing more barrels here, and a lot of those tricky barrels, like also Donkey Kong is gonna send more of those blue barrels as well. Those become fireballs. Oh my god! That's too much. Let's see if we can finish this quickly. See? Yeah. There you go. So let's climb here. Oh, let's climb here. Oh, that was close. Let's climb here. Come on. There you go. Okay. So yeah, it gets harder and harder now. My best, I think, is level 3 or 4. I don't remember. It gets really hard later. Elevators get really fast. The final screen, you get a lot of fireballs. Yeah, here for example, now we have 2 fireballs already. Level 1 had just 1, and so right. So yeah, I'm gonna stop here because we're 15 minutes over time. But yeah, so that was Donkey Kong. 4 different versions, including our own version for the ColecoVision. All right, so I'm gonna stop the game, and I'm gonna resize my screen again, and I think it's time for the T-shirt. Let's see, Grass is coming. All right, so okay, all right, so this is how it's gonna work, okay? Grass is using this website, okay, and she entered all the names, and I'm gonna press draw here, and you're gonna take like 5 seconds. You're gonna know who got the T-shirt. All right, so let's go. Press draw, and there you go. Yay, RC Safari! Congratulations, you got the T-shirt. So please next talk to Grazi, or I think Grazi is gonna ask you to send us an email so you know your size, okay? And we're gonna need your size, your address, and then we're gonna send you the T-shirt. All right? Awesome! Congratulations again. Yeah, that was awesome. Okay, guys. So I think this is it for tonight. I hope you guys had fun. I actually had a lot of fun. I love doing those things. I love playing games. I don't have much time to play games other than my own games, so it's always nice. Okay. And actually, I will say this. Actually, we hope to keep doing those, and hopefully weekly. All right. So again, thanks so much for joining us tonight. Really appreciate that. And I think, let me see. Grazi, do you have the info you need? Because I'm afraid that if I stop streaming, um, you cannot. Yeah. So please get his email. Let's make sure. Okay. Awesome. Awesome. So she said she's all set. So again, thanks so much again. Really appreciate you guys joining us tonight, or depending on where you are, for joining us today. So, and hopefully I'm gonna see you guys next week. You're gonna try to come up with different stuff every week. I don't know. It's more for fun. It's more, to have fun than anything else here. All right. Okay, guys. Thanks so much again.